We are live. Sorry, I have to explain. I forget I have this. Hi, everybody. If you're listening to the audio version, are you in for a treat when you go to the video? This is ForceCenter, a show about Star Wars, pop culture, and ultimate adventure life itself. I'm Cowboy Cat Knapsack.
I'm Joseph. No weird facial hair changes, Scrimshaw. We joke sometimes about our move to YouTube being that we have gone full face, and Ben has gone even more face. This is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, over on my show, The Blathering, I announced that on Monday that I was gonna shave my beard completely gone this weekend to reset it. You know, when sometimes the facial hair gets, I have to go back to zero to get it back to where I want it. And everyone was like, shave it to a handlebar mustache, and I was like, absolutely not. And then they said, how about if we super chatted you? And absolutely. So I sold my soul, my face for about $6.42.
I was gonna say, what's the amount? What is the amount?
I should have gone higher.
Yeah. Do you need more super chat injections to keep it, or are you going to shave it off?
It is going to go off. I have a stand-up show tonight that I've decided I am going to go with this because it might provide 4 minutes of material. Oh, yeah. we're comics, and that's how we live life.
More than that, I think you gotta cut some promos. It's such a wrestling vibe.
It is. So I just have to ignore the elephant on my face, but we're here live. We're here live. We're going to talk about your favorite Jedi, and happy to be here with you all today. Topic wasn't done without some kind of small thought for me, Joseph, of just we always do acknowledge the state of the world. Don't need to dive deeply into things here unless we need to or want to, but like a bit of tough, anger-inducing week, and I do love what the Jedi represent in Star Wars, the hope and the night that stands before those who would unnaturally push darkness over it. So I figured we should celebrate that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't even know what the topic was. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it today. And I haven't been able to get much, if any, of my other work done. If I know a lot of our regular listeners know that I'm from Minneapolis, and that a ton of my family and friends are there. It's what's happened in Minneapolis is incredibly upsetting and deeply affecting to everyone, but I'm having a hard time just sort of like literally looking away from the television or my phone for a concern of what will happen next, and how it will impact the world, but also the city. So I decided to come on here because I needed something that had some joy and some hope to it. So thank you, everyone, for being here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as Star Wars fans, I think we're always fans of Jedi. But you have been always a champion for Jedi, even when the show started. And I was like, wow, Joseph, I like the war over the lore. I like boots on the ground. But does it with this facial hair, does it sound worse?
Yeah, it's like the hair is literally the war and your chin is the lore. War over lore.
I'm trying to invoke more Jesse Ventura than anything else right now. So Jesse's an interesting conversation anyways. I
don't think that man can order a ham sandwich without sounding like he's cutting a promo. And
he cut a great one today.
We can do a long other center about it someday, but I voted for that man when I was a young man back in Minnesota. He's a good talker.
He is. Anyways, but I say that to as before we take calls, and this is about our ForceCenter friends' favorite Jedis, but I wanted to, just throw it to you here, and totally unplanned, impromptu. You and I both jumped in this studio about 2 minutes before we went live. About, again, what has always drawn you to the Jedi beyond just, as you and I grew up with, Luke and a lightsaber? What has continued and caused that love to grow?
I think for me, it is this picture of people who are committed to trying to be their absolute best selves. And a lot of the criticism of Jedi is the moments that they falter, and they should be criticized for that. And they are perhaps better than anybody at criticizing themselves. They often go live somewhere alone for over 20 years in absolute guilt for when they fail. But I do think that it's a picture of, I'm going to make a commitment to say, I have these powers, I have this ability to try to help people and try to defend the helpless and try to de-escalate and preserve life. And it is not an easy path. I have to resist anger. I have to get into muddy situations where maybe there isn't a clear right and wrong. And even if there is a clear right and wrong, if I try to fight the wrong in the wrong way, I will escalate. It is an incredibly difficult and complex thing. In you know, when something just feels right and you feel yourself sort of fill up with light and righteousness, and those moments of Jedi storytelling where a Jedi has found the right path and said, this is wrong and I am standing against it, just sort of fill me with this energy of kindness and righteousness at the same time. You know, Luke in The Last Jedi, he's not even there. He can't physically hurt anybody. All he is doing is preventing further violence. And he is doing it with such certainty, such incredible certainty. And it's those moments that I think are very empowering when I think about what it means to be a Jedi. And very quickly, it's also like, it's a journey, right? When I kind of realized, like, Luke looks cool and he does all sorts of cool things, right? And I'm growing up thinking, I wish I had a lightsaber because I'd take care of all these fools, you know, and like, the power fantasy, right? And then when you kind of get around to it, and like, man, a Jedi's happiest day is like having a picnic, like, you know, doing the ribbon cutting with their lightsaber at a space 7-Eleven, finding it, you know, two villages that are fighting and, you know, talking them like, why don't you share your rupees with this community and they'll share their boing boing vegetables with you? Like, that's a perfect day for a Jedi. It disabuses you of the power fantasy of like, that's what they're there for.
With a little ice-flavored snow cone drink. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, well said, man. Well said. I really appreciate your words on it today more than ever. But it is, over the years, I think it was one of those like, oh, no, I can, first of all, you can appreciate all facets of Star Wars, even if one is your favorite over the other. But like, just kind of being a kid who I always say missed the point. That's not even fair to me as a 7 or a 10-year-old, but like, yeah, Luke is the knight in shining armor. He literally has the sword. That is this trope we're raised on. And I think it can get overlooked that his victory comes from the willingness to throw down that weapon and return the Jedi. And it's such a big moment of Star Wars, and I can always look back on it now. But as a kid, you were focusing more on the swashbuckling, naturally. So to grow as a Star Wars fan and kind of analyze and look and live with what the Jedi try to do, even when you understandably and at times correctly want to poke at the institution that they are or were, but for us as original trilogy fans kind of became, right? We learned that kind of an out of order story. So well said on all that stuff there. All right. A lot of folks getting ready to call in. And I think we're ready. Are you ready, sir?
I am. Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes. I have faith that somebody will bring up my favorite Jedi.
Yeah. We'll toss in along the way here. We have a lot of calls here. As I say, I'll stay here right now. You know, this is we say calls, but we'll take the video feed. So if you're camera ready, your camera will be on in the queue here in StreamYard. That's how I and Joseph and I can see that you're here and on board with the terms and agreements. And if you're not in a place to have your camera on, you're not comfortable with it, totally fine too. Disable your camera in the back end of your StreamYard when you're in here, and we'll just take your audio as well. Let's begin with Elias. Check it in here. Got here nice and early, first in line, first in the queue. Elias, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, guys. I'm surviving. How are you guys?
Surviving.
Fair word. Yeah.
Yeah, my heart goes out to you guys, to Joseph, to everyone in Minnesota. Man, it's just been a nightmare week, but
Portland and everywhere. Yeah, absolutely. But let's talk hope. Let's talk Jedi. Let's talk those doing good. Who's your favorite Jedi?
This is such an awesome question and subject. I love it because it's such an expansive world now, the galaxy, the universe of Star Wars, that in the beginning, it was always Luke for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now Luke's still a great choice, but now there's so many to choose from. And I'm particularly thinking about, we need some Ezra Bridger energy around right now, in real life. And my favorite moment would be Anakin Skywalker's last act in his life. That's an easy choice as a moment. I mean, I just can't even think about it without like getting emotional. But the choice for my favorite Jedi is one I would never have picked, even a few years ago. But it's Ahsoka Tano. And it's not even close to me. Like right now, like I got her right here by me next to my computer.
Nice.
Just to remind me of like what I value. And it's kind of silly, but I'm not ashamed to say it, that I kind of lean on that in hard times. Little things that help us remember like what it's all about. So what I love about Ahsoka is when she decided to leave the Jedi Order, it was a clear-eyed decision to follow her own path, because she knew what her moral center was, and she knew that the Jedi or whatever organizations were around didn't align with her anymore. And I just think that's just such an important message. And I'm so glad that Star Wars put that into what was like a kid's cartoon. It's like the Clone Wars, right? And I love it so much. I mean, she followed her own path, her own moral code, when it didn't align with that of what's going on around. And oh my God, I wish more people would just think about what that means right now. I mean, instead of just going with the flow, don't be scared. Just, do what feels right and is right to you. And, my God, it's been a tough year, and I've been really happy that Star Wars is around, because there's so many awesome characters that bring hope and show different ways to resist. But Ahsoka's my favorite.
I think it's such a great choice. And I think one of the things that I forget about Ahsoka's arc, when I rewatch Clone Wars, is that she doesn't have full certainty when she walks away, right? She has certainty that the Jedi aren't living up to their own ideals. And I think it's such a great and nuanced thing. It could have been just like, I'm right about everything, and I know my path, and I know what's next, and you're doing wrong, and I leave. But she starts this journey kind of one step at a time, where she says, I know that this is not the right place for me, because you're not following your own ideals, and I need to go figure myself out. And seeing her figure herself out in those Clone Wars episodes in the next season, where she reattaches to all those values of like, well, I can helping people. That's the center of who I am. And I think that's so helpful in storytelling, to be reminded that we don't always have to know all of the answers to begin the journey to figuring out what's right.
I love that. Great choice. Truly great choice to kick us off. I love the words you're saying, Joseph. And I look at Ahsoka as someone I consider one of my favorites over the years, and I was part of that snips to, oh, I get it now kind of conversation. And I think for me, she represents growth. You're both, I think, expressing growth. I love, Joseph, that you talk about the uncertainty in it, even though she takes a certain distinct, action, makes a choice, but that as you change and grow, especially when you're within systems or within institutions or have a certain set of beliefs, and then the things around it don't seem to align anymore, it can be scary. And I think it is a permission structure, right? Ahsoka is an example of a permission structure of it's okay to re-examine, to recalibrate, and make a change, and she finds a change that helps her grow into who she truly wants to be, even though she continues to go on and have struggles, as we're seeing. That's the benefit of the character. I think that was also said here up there with General Cameroni's comment of Ahsoka's great because we have seen her at many ages and stages in life, a lot of ability to connect with her. And I think that's true. So great answer. Love that there. All right, Elias, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for the Anakin and moment. We talk about Luke throwing down the blade as we should, but Anakin's final act, both the action he took with the Palpatine and the compassion for his son. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for all of us too. I mean, I think it's wonderful that you keep Ahsoka right where you can see her and right where she can help you. I think, we make jokes and pop culture becomes this large thing and we subdivide into groups and it can become, seem silly in that, but it's a story. And the reason humans have been telling one another stories forever is to help. And that Ahsoka is a story created by other humans who is helping another human. So I think that's great.
That's wonderful. Elias, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Check it in here. We got super chat from Mr. LD Speeds, also I think occasionally known as like Captain Pepto, right? If I remember correctly. Plo Koon is one of my favorite Jedi. Hey, is this Dave Filoni? His care compassion for the clones as well as his care for Ahsoka is so heartwarming. He looks so cool. He also looks so cool. Yeah, I agree with that. And we joke about Dave. I get Dave liking the Plo Koon of it all. And his all the Order 66 deaths do tug on my heartstrings. It's such a great, wonderfully edited sequence for something that's so bad. But the music in the swell and then the Plo's crash gets me every time. I do love Plo.
I mean, the voice work in Clone Wars and Little Ahsoka is, pretty great.
James Arnold Taylor, yes, Little Ahsoka. There. All right, let's take a call here. We got Addie, we got Brennan, we got Jared from the Nerd Academy podcast. That's the lineup. We're calling it like a baseball game, so I don't catch you guys off guard if I pull your face in. Okay, I just want to do that. Addie, checking in. Resident professor of smart things, an actual doctor of smart things. So we're excited for your answer, Addie. What's your favorite Jedi?
I apologize because I think we have had this conversation before, but it's Rey.
Great.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And by the way, it's not a contest, everyone. And if you want to call in and talk about Ahsoka, you get to call and talk about Ahsoka too. But Addie, I think that's a great choice.
Yeah, it's entirely wrapped up in the fact that like I'm a prequel kid, but the Jedi were always like the good guys. The Jedi were who you strove to be. But in the prequels, even though they weren't all guys, it still felt like the Jedi Order was like an order of monks that like I also can't become a priest. Like it felt like a boys' club. And Rey, for me, was really the first time that I saw the potential that I could be a Jedi too. And I also just the things that she does in the sequel trilogy, the fact I think a lot, especially given things that are going on right now about the rise of Skywalker and how in spite of everything and in spite of knowing and learning things about herself, she goes to face down Palpatine pretty much guaranteed that she's probably gonna die. And she does it anyway. And because it's the right thing to do.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think I have a little notebook that I write all my New Year's resolutions down in that I got in 2019. And it says True Jedi on it and has a picture of the Skywalker saber that she uses in the film and the Vexus, the snake thing she heals. And that I picked that little notebook because one of the things I love so much about Rey in The Rise of Skywalker is the care that's taken to show who she is at her heart, like person who has a lot of emotion and has a right to be angry. But even with all of her righteous anger, her natural instinct is to help people. And even while she's actively doing those things, she is saying to herself and her friends and in the audience, I'm awful. Like, no, you're not. Look at all the things you just did. I think, again, it's just such a picture of the nuance of how hard it is to walk this path that even while you are being awesome, you are doubting yourself. And she comes to a place where she can believe in herself.
Addie, can we go back to 2015 with you here for a second? And you said you're a prequel kid. You're a bit. I know. I got this magazine that I think eventually we're going to have to ship out to you here. I got this Padme episode 1 here. So I know you're a fan of Padme. But Rey shows up, and I love you sharing your perspective on what you were saying and what you felt and what was your reality at the time in terms of the Jedi and the organization. Rey comes along. But we knew it, right? We knew there was a character. Maybe we didn't know who was the actual Force user, bigger conversation, whatever. But like you probably had a sense that new hero, Daisy Ridley's probably playing this character. But what was the moment or moments in the film where you went like, I that's it, I feel seen? Do you have those kind of moments that jump out?
So admittedly going into it, because I wasn't as plugged into Star Wars going into The Force Awakens as I had been for the prequels and I would be for the rest of the sequels. Like Star Wars was coming back and I was like, ooh, yay, I get to see a Star Wars, but I hadn't really like gone deep into what it was going to be. I naturally assumed that Oscar Isaac was going to be the star of the film because he was the passably white one. And a dude.
And had a bigger resume, you know, yeah.
And so when Rey calls the blade in the fight with Kylo at the end, and that look on her face of like, oh, so we're doing this? Oh, it's me? Oh, that worked? Okay. I have had that moment of like, oh, it's me. Oh, we're actually gonna do this. Oh, shiz. Oh, okay. I guess we'll do this. And that moment right there, I was sold. And then of course I had to deal with all of the Where's Rey merchandise fiasco because I couldn't find an action figure to add to my Padme collection to save my life. Still don't have one actually. And, but that was it for me. That was it for me. I was done.
I'd love to get your thoughts on that moment too, Joseph. But like you just highlighted one of the things that I've always loved about it, which is, yes, it's a hero's moment. And the blade goes to her and all these wonderful things, but it's played as exactly as you said, oh shiz. And in keeping with this, Luke Skywalker's a myth. I'm not part of the story and all the things we talk about. And we'll continue to talk about Force Awakens and Rey. I love that little beat. I
think it's phenomenal acting and you know, maybe directing by JJ or maybe Daisy Ridley just did that. But I think it is like she's wrestling with the sort of the heady version of, well, what would it mean if a lightsaber is calling to me? I don't want to deal with all that. And then she just does what is instinct of, oh, you mess with my buddy Finn, and I am going to stand up to you. She does what she has to out of instinct, and then suddenly has that like, oh, I am taking on all of these things, but I have to because it's who I am.
Yeah, beautiful moments.
Yeah,
beautiful moments. And so hold on, Addie, you lack Rey action figures even now. I
do. Yeah, I do. The shelf in my bedroom it's still all of the Padme figures of every outfit she ever had because they made all of them. And two Leia figures. One of which is the 25th anniversary of her and Luke swinging across the thing with the grappling hook that you could actually like put places. And that's it. Well, I think it's in part because I only do the 3 3/4. Until very recently, I got some of the Black Series Padme ones that came out. And so I could never find a 3 3/4 Rey. And then they stopped making them. So like.
Well.
She is, yeah.
I do have one.
Yeah.
I do have one in a box. Addie, we'll make this happen, okay? We'll make this happen. We'll make it happen.
We'll talk off air. I have funds.
There you go. Addie, thank you so much for the sharing of your experience with Rey. Appreciate it. All right. There you go. I'm not brokering deals, Joseph. I'm just making dreams come true.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, Rey has not been as well represented as she should in the 3 3/4 line, but yes, yeah. Well, let's talk about our Rey care package.
Great care package indeed. Let's keep the calls going there. You guys, we got Brennan, we got Jared, and then Jedi James, Eli, Jacob. If you want to call in, I should say, you can become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/ForceCenter. The link is up there. We only put it in Patreon. It's not in Discord, so you have to go in and get it there. So let's pull in our buddy Brennan Mystical Mar, who loves the Jedi. Brennan, how are you doing?
Good, Joseph. Always a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you, Brennan.
Ken, looking good. Looking good.
Well, that's not necessarily the words I would use to describe it.
As far as what you just said to Addie, I've got a rate figure that I'm willing to get her for free.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
You hear that, Addie? I'm willing to give you that one for free.
Wow. Truly a hero. Truly a hero.
So hit me
Brennan,
up if you want.
what do you got? Who's your favorite Jedi?
Well, I think Qui-Gon Jinn is my favorite Jedi. And the philosophy by which I lived my life, and I didn't realize this until recently, is exactly his quote, "Your focus determines your reality." I think it's pretty clear. I think, life's a little tough on me, a little bit. But I find that that philosophy is really how I live my life.
Now, Brennan, can I ask you? This is a great. Qui-Gon is absolutely one of our favorites around here, as you know. But you mentioned, hey, I didn't even kind of realize. I love that kind of stuff as a Star Wars fan. I even talk about it here, and even there's episodes of ForceCenter where Joseph or Jennifer will say something. I'll be like, oh my God, that's right. That connects with me in a way in film. Can you kind of maybe go to the moment where you kind of connected some dots for you emotionally and spiritually and whatnot with Qui-Gon?
As long as I can remember, I've been very much of the idea that, okay, my circumstances in life are a little difficult. But that doesn't need to be the focus of everything that I do. And realizing that, I think that quote resonated with me from the moment I first saw the film. That I didn't quite realize how.
Right.
Liam Neeson, as we know, is terrific. I remember very distinctly Joseph talking about the possible relationship between Qui-Gon and Shmi. I remember that episode very distinctly of Jedi Alliance.
Oh, yeah, going back.
But regardless, I think that Qui-Gon is a fountain of so much great wisdom. And it's willing to sort of defy the rules, the dogma, to pursue the spirit of what the Jedi Order is. Another Jedi that I really works for me is Master Soul from
Acolyte.
Because Soul represents a guy who made some big mistakes. But he still tried to live and make up for that by living according to not the dogma, but the actual meaning of the Jedi Order. And don't get me started on the Acolyte. I think a lot of people misinterpreted that show very much.
It's possible.
And no comment on any names or anything. But,
yeah, I mean, I think I think one of the things that's rich about it is the story is told in a complicated, nuanced way that I think invites us to ask questions, and that can be difficult in a rush to opinion atmosphere.
And I find that Qui-Gon and Master Soul are similar in many respects.
I can see that.
And even Qui-Gon made big mistakes. He freed Anakin, but there were a lot more people he could have freed. But it's just a reminder that it's okay to make mistakes. It really is. And as long as you're pursuing what's right and not what's wrong. And for me, being a member of an organized religion, Qui-Gon and Soul give me a lot of perspective on dogma is the worst thing you could do to religion.
Right. All right.
Which is, I think, why religion can be such a problem, because of the dogma.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the spirit of it is always good.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I think both Qui-Gon and Soul wrestle with what is right, and they also both have I think this sort of a really calm, serene energy that is really nice to watch and be a part of, and you just kind of almost want to be like, could I chat with one of them about my problems, because they're so calm and reassuring.
Good therapy.
That's
Great stuff. Great stuff, Brennan. I appreciate you
Thanks,
sharing
Brennan.
that and your perspective through it all.
Thank you,
As
guys.
always. All right. Oop, sorry, cut him off at the end. Yeah, Qui-Gon is an example to us all, says Eddie. Yeah, absolutely love that. Absolutely love Qui-Gon there. All right, MC in comments here. Love Brent Bum saying, whenever I get a quiet moment, I like to sit down in my living room, look at my display of lightsabers. Helps remind me to slow down and let go of daily frustration. The power of storytelling. Storytelling. There we go. All right. Jared the Dark Jedi called in, which is his username, not necessarily the philosophy he believes in. Jared of the Nerd Academy podcast. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. Hope you guys are doing well, or as well as you can when everything's on fire. And also the Dark Jedi thing, mostly just because it sounds cool. But no, whenever the conversation about favorite Jedi comes around, like I think gun to my head, I probably do go Qui-Gon as well. But one of my goats has just been so deeply slandered in recent time, and I can't let the Mace Windu slander continue any longer. The BMF, I think Mace Windu is in a weird place in terms of how he's discussed and how it is kind of at odds with what he represents, because I think there's this weird sense that he taps into the power of the dark side and all this weird, because red and blue make purple, and this flattening of his character. When in reality, I think there are a few Jedi who stand as stalwart against the dark side and against darkness as Mace Windu does. The Luke casting aside the lightsaber and, what he does in The Last Jedi, it's so powerful, and it is so much what it means to be a Jedi. There's a part of me that also just really gravitates to Mace because he's kind of one of the few Jedi who stand on business in a very real way. It's like Mace and it's Porter Engle who have that very, no, I'm not going to move, and you're hurting innocent people. This doesn't have to end with me killing you. It's up to you as to how this ends, because I don't want to hurt you, but you keep hurting innocent people. That means I'm probably going to have to. And this is your fault because I'm begging you to stop. And especially, big time justice for the Jedi guy here as well. I love that he also does kind of represent the institutional rot of the Order. I know somebody coming up after me is going to have a lot to say about Yoda, a character I don't have a lot of love for, but I have so much smoke for Yoda, Joseph.
Wow.
I am on the record as calling Yoda the Nancy Pelosi of the Jedi Order.
So should I just bring in Eli now? Should I just bring in Eli now?
No. I refuse to debate him on this right now. But but I do love that Mace, he is sure of himself, sometimes to a fault, and his heart is so very much in the right place, especially when he's ready to strike down the Emperor. And you end up at a really weird crossroads for Jedi ideology and Jedi philosophy of morally, he might be justified in killing this unarmed man, and striking down the Emperor. But it also stands in such a stark contrast to what the Jedi represent. And, it speaks to one of the great passages in the Revenge of the Sith novelization that talks about how the Clone Wars was the ultimate Jedi trap, that by participating, the Jedi lost, that by choosing violence in any real way, the Jedi were now entering a zero-sum game where there was no way for them to win. And that book also has one of my favorite passages that talks about how, I have it pulled up as I wanted to get the quote exactly right. Jedi do not fight for peace. That's only a slogan. And as misleading as slogans always are, Jedi fight for civilization because only civilization creates peace. And it talks about how while the Jedi preached non-attachment, Mace had an attachment, and it was the Republic. you know, and I think he is such a fascinating character who, again, is one of those like stalwart defenders. Like, again, people like Qui-Gon and Yoda and Obi-Wan, like we look to them as they're like the monk, you know, they're the monk wizard side of the Jedi Knight philosophy and kind of oeuvre. I love Mace because he's a knight, you know, and you even see him in Clone Wars season 7, like trying to de-escalate a situation with battle droids. You know, he's like, please, like, I know I'm that guy. Please don't make me be that guy with you. Room full of battle droids.
There you go.
That he does it. And I love Mace for it. I love Mace
There you
for it. I think we got to start putting more respect on Mace Windu's name.
All right. Look, you stated your claim.
Yeah. I think he's a great character. And a sometimes great Jedi. I actually don't disagree with anything you said. I think what's fascinating to him about a character is he represents to me a Jedi who is really willing to pretty quickly say the line is drawn here, and we're not going to waffle around. The line is drawn here. And then what I really like about him is I think in some situations I'm sort of like, yes, too much waffling around. You did what was right. The line must be drawn here. And there are other times where that rigidity gets him. And I think
100%
rigidity with the way he handles Ahsoka gets him. I think the rigidity with not being situationally aware of what is going on with Anakin, and just like, I think a Jedi who is less rigid would go like, it's volatile to have Anakin there. It might be more volatile to keep him out of it.
Right.
That man had ample time to see who Anakin Skywalker was and zero reason to think that he would stay out of it. You know?
Precisely.
I think he's a fascinating character because sometimes I'm so with him, and even sometimes watching him in the same scene, I'll watch it once and go, damn right. And then I'll watch it the next time and go, what are you doing, you fool?
He's so complicated. He's so complicated in every and I think that's what makes him compelling because of that. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's right about everything. You're absolutely right. I kind of made it sound like that's the case, mostly jokingly, because I'm tired of the Mace slander. You know, people blame him for Anakin's fall more than they blame the Emperor or Anakin, and that's an anathema to me. But like, no, 100% love Mace.
Yeah, no, great, love it. I know. I'll joke aside. Yeah, absolutely. Love Mace. Love the characters in Star Wars that raise the tough questions, and the answers aren't always clear, and that's part of the fun, and part of what's come back. And also, not for nothing, I'm going back to my Joseph, our mid to late '90s selves. Having Sam Jackson in Star Wars was the epitome of cool in 1999.
Yeah,
that was like,
but it only got cooler when the lightsaber ended up being purple.
Yeah. And the great video. Are they ever purple?
Yeah,
it's so good. So good.
Jared, I appreciate you sharing your love of Mace, my friend. Absolutely.
Thank you very
great
much,
stuff.
guys. Take care.
All right, there you go. Check out Jared on the Nerd Academy podcast, and they're doing a countdown to the Road to Doomsday show right now. New Marvel picture coming out, Joseph. You hear this new Marvel picture?
I have seen the commercials, and I'm excited to watch Captain America care for his child.
There you go. All right, roll along here with calls. We're here for about 20, 25 more minutes. So we got Jedi James, we got Eli, we got Jacob. Jedi James on the show. How you doing, my friend? How you doing?
How am I doing? Well, I'm doing good because work's been good after coming back from break. I just turned 27 yesterday, so good stuff there. I wish I could say that more of the world was doing better, though. That makes me sad to have a celebration of life yesterday when there's a desecration of life in so many other instances. So personally, I'm doing good, though.
Joy is part of the resistance too, so I get you. Yep.
To keep to the hope, though, and talk about our favorite defenders of light and life. First of all, 2 honorable mentions, and I hope somebody talks about him more because he deserves a whole slew of talk. Kanan Jarrus, amazing. Other honorable mention isn't a favorite one. I just wanted to talk about him quickly because I just find him so amusing. It's from the High Republic, Orbelin, the archivist, who is basically a Jedi blob of goo. And I love that so much. That is Star Wars perfection in my mind. But my favorite Jedi, I have to say, Joseph, you're going to be happy. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, good. I say like Yoda. Good.
Yeah, let us go. Yes. It's Obi-Wan you choose, yes.
Go for it.
But I love Obi-Wan just because he's just kind of, somebody said before that I think it was Dr. Addy or somebody else, but just like Ahsoka, we follow so much of his life, so we get to see so much, and plenty of other characters we followed throughout their lives, of course. But Obi-Wan has just always been there, from that old mentor who just seems like he has all the answers, but then you go back and you realize, no, he's never had all the answers, and in fact, even in times when he's most sure, he also is not sure, because sometimes these situations are completely out of his control. You see him from a young Padawan who's following the ways of the Jedi, probably trying to follow them to a T and trying to figure out who he is. Then boom, he has to get into a situation and a training of a Padawan that he was not ready for, and he tries to make the best of it, much like a Jedi should. And just watching him progress further and further, get to the Jedi Council, and just, even though he's not perfect, and again, the Jedi are not perfect. It's one of my favorite things you've ever said, Joseph. They are living beings with flaws who are trying to walk an incredibly difficult task. To quote Justina Ireland in one of her High Republic books, being a Jedi is damn hard, or something like that. But I feel like Obi-Wan has made so many mistakes. He's also made so many victories, and with each mistake, we slowly watch him get better. We watch him heal. We watch him perfect himself. And even in death, we watch him say, even I could be wrong. Luke, you did something that I did not know was possible. When I thought my friend was truly dead, you saw that he could be alive. And I praise you for that. And just watching the evolution of him over these films, these books, this whole saga, the Clone Wars, it melts my heart every time I watch him stumble, get back, do better, and embrace his relationships without letting them consume him, because I truly believe he loves Anakin. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. Satine, he loves Satine. This we know, but he never let it consume him. Watching someone like Darth Maul treat him so horribly, kill his master, kill Satine, his brother rammed Adi Gallia in the stomach with horns, and who knows what else. His whole world came tumbling down, and he does not seek vengeance, which is sometimes the hardest thing to do in the world. But he just says, nope, I will not let you do this, but I'm not going to harbor any hatred towards you. And just on and on it could go. There's just so many moments with Obi-Wan. I mean, for crying out loud, my mom bought me a rather expensive Obi-Wan Kenobi figure for Christmas because I wanted it so bad. You can literally make it show the Rock moment in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And so,
oh wow!
Long story short, I love Obi-Wan to death. He will always be my favorite Jedi, flaws and all. And hey, not for nothing, he also loves to be very snarky sometimes. And I will say personally, is sometimes for people I'm very close to, I like to be playfully snarky around them. I can't do it as good as Obi-Wan, but I try my best, because he's truly a master at it. But yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi, now and for always, my favorite Jedi ever.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I obviously agree with this. He's my personal favorite, and I think a part of it is the snarky, just slightly judgy. Well, kind of judgy. Like, I mean, he always feels like a guy who does like to go to bars and coffee shops and kind of playfully bicker with people, and maybe he'll learn something about them. Well, the snark, the snark is also like curiosity. It feels like he's sort of like poking to learn more about you, sometimes in like a fun and friendly way, and like with adversaries, to find out what are they going to do, so I can really truly understand the situation around me. And I think, especially in the prequel era, sometimes we don't get to spend enough time with Jedi, or they can be portrayed to us as extremely reserved. So Obi-Wan just always being like I am the most head down Jedi. I'm just showing up for work and I do my Jedi stuff. Having so much personality is always so great. And I do think if somebody had never seen any Star Wars and wanted to understand Jedi philosophy, the Twin Sons episode in Rebels, the knowledge and defense, is just so on display of like, I don't want to ignite my blade. I am only igniting it when you directly threaten the person I must defend. And then it is not, superior skills that end you. It's just that win the battle. It's knowledge followed by compassion. So good.
Love that, and you know, you both are making me think of all the different performers that brought this character to life throughout the years, and they all bring something to it. And the Clone Wars Obi-Wan, James Arnold Taylor's work highlights exactly what you're both talking about. That I do love, that playful snarkiness, the poking and prodding, like you say, Joseph. Everything. It was perfectly played for the era of this character's life, you know, that age group, and though that might still remain, it might be differently, played out differently as you get older or whatever. But primetime snark Obi-Wan is something I value, absolutely value. There you go, Jedi Gems. Any favorite moments with Obi-Wan over the years that stand out? One or two that you love?
Well, I gotta say the duel and the lifting of rocks on Stabby Rock Moon or Stabby Rock Planet. I mean, come on, it's amazing.
Thank you, General Cameron.
And another one I have to go with is let me think here. Oh, there's so many good ones. It's so hard to just not pick one. But I'll probably also say the let's see here. Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot here. I'm just gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. This might be a little bit of a unorthodox one, but it's the one that hit my head most right away. It was from the book Padawan by Kirsten White. When he was on the planet and taking a journey away from Qui-Gon Jinn, and he was trying to battle these the people who are threatening the planet. And he, sorry, spoilers for the book, but when he is trying to battle them, he is, again, as you say, Joseph, using knowledge. And there was a moment where, like, I don't need to use a ton of force. I just need to strategically use a little bit of force in the right way to make this happen. And he did that. And I was just like, yes, Obi-Wan. And also in that same book, there was just a beautiful passage about when he was meditating with the planet and just what the concept of the force really was, that just enlightened me to the broad connection of life and meaning and purpose through all of us shared individuals. It was, I love that book to death. So sorry, unorthodox pick, but it's a great one. Yeah. Oh, and of course I gotta go with these two snarky lines. When he's dueling Maul again at the end of season 4, when I was dueling you, I should have aimed for your head. And of course, when he and Anakin are going in Attack of the Clones in Labar, and he sends Anakin off on his errand, Anakin's, well, where will you be, Master? For a drink.
So good.
Love
those
it.
are my big moments.
Look, I don't know why you struggle. There's only 50 years of the character existing in pop culture to choose from. So, all there. Jedi James, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you for letting me share.
All right, we got Eli, we got Jacob, we got Outlaw Adam Knight, our friend and pro wrestler who probably has something to say about my mustache calling in as well. But Eli, let's get to Eli here. Eli, how are you, my friend?
Hello, everyone.
Well,
thanks for having me.
What's going on?
Not much. I want to talk about my favorite Jedi and the one who I have not one, but not two, but three Funko Pops of back here. Yoda.
Yay!
Yoda is my favorite Jedi, the Grandmaster himself. Size matters not, he tells us. I love Yoda. I always love the wise old mentor archetype in fiction. It's like a real thing for me. I love Yoda. I love Professor X is another one I love. All of those folks. Look, one of my things with Yoda is he perfect? Is he somebody who knows everything about everything? No, he doesn't. But I find so much beauty in that imperfection. There's that moment in the Clone Wars arc at the end of season 6 where he goes on his Force journey, where one of the Force priestesses says, "You were not open. You may have failed this challenge because in your heart you felt that we had nothing left to teach you." Yoda is over 800 years old at that time. He's lived a life full of knowledge and the pursuit of knowledge based on the Jedi arts and all that kind of stuff. But even in all those years, he still had more to learn, and more to teach. That's another thing that I think is so important, is that Luke got this final Jedi crash course on Dagobah, in what now Yoda I think Yoda knew that was going to be the last time he ever mentored a Jedi. And I think we got some of Yoda's, this was our introduction to Yoda by time of release, and we got all the classics. Your size matters not. Your luminous beings are we. Use the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack. But I think there's something really just fascinating about the idea of Yoda, especially in that time, looking back at all his life, through all the goods and the bads, and being like, no, this is what I'm taking away. This is how I am going to end my life, by teaching one final student who will save the galaxy. All, as he says to Luke in Last Jedi, the strength and mastery, yes, but weakness and folly and failure as well. That's what I want you to take. That's what I want to teach you, is about the good and the bad, the wholeness of being a Jedi.
Love it.
Yeah,
I
very much agree. And I think, my introduction to Yoda was I was 6 and thought he was hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
And kind. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't have the best grandparents. And like Yoda is an archetype, like sort of the perfect grandparent of wise and kind, but also tells you what you need to hear, but also very charming and fun, and truly loves students, loves young people. And that's, I think, one of the greatest things about his portrayal. I love in Attack the Clones that he's enjoying after centuries. He's not like, oh God, got to deal with a bunch more toddlers. He's enjoying teaching those kids, and he enjoys making fun of.
Yeah.
One of his greatest lines is Obi-Wan lost the planet. How embarrassing!
How embarrassing!
Just like, hey, come on, let's not get too full of ourselves. But also, let's separate from when we should have whimsy and light and love, and then what are the really important things in life that we really need to make sure that we're clear on. It's such a great, grandfatherly figure.
That was what I was thinking of as well. Yeah, Yoda could be doing anything. He's the Grandmaster of the Order. He's the head of it all. But he is teaching the young. He is making sure at the beginning of their Jedi journeys, they get the wisest and most thoughtful advice. That is his prerogative. Even on the battlefield in that episode Ambush, the big early Clone Wars. On the battlefield, he's piecing up battle droids like nobody's business. But he takes the time in that cave with those 3 clones to remind them, the same you may look, but different in your minds, in the Force, very different people you are. On the battlefield, he cannot resist being a teacher.
Love it. No, I would love to see you and Jared have a debate. You can do that over on Star Wars in a Galaxy Nerd Academy crossover. Let's have the epic 2-hour Mace versus Yoda debate. I would pay to watch.
Over Fortnite, we were kind of doing it last night as well. So
there you go. And good points. Good points made by all. To be clear, but yeah, I still when I think of Yoda, I think of just a warm home. The sound of enlightenment is one of the things I always used to say describe his theme, and and not for nothing, Joseph, he is funny.
He is.
He's damn very entertaining.
I call his in Empire. I call his Empire self like restless gremlin Yoda, where he's just like, okay, let's see how far I can push this guy before he's finally like, are you Yoda? Is that what's going on here?
I'll make him crack his head open on my hut. I agree
with Osvetnik here. He has some incredible moments in Young Jedi Adventures. All 3 seasons, he has some just incredible moments. Not completely sold, to be honest, on the voice actor. But I understand that filling Frank Oz's shoes in that role is not an easy task. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I'll also shout out quickly, I think one of Yoda's funniest lines to me is in Return of the Jedi, when he is imparting this great wisdom on his deathbed to Luke, and he still takes time to subtly burn him when Luke has so I am a Jedi. Oh!
Yeah, it's very funny.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
And absolutely shout out to Frank Oz for setting the tone. And the other performers as well. With Tom Kane does Clone Wars, right? Yeah, absolutely. Eli, thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. Okay.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Eli. Want to interject before our next call? Today is Jeannie from Tahini's birthday.
Oh!
Jeannie says, I turned 46 today. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you, Jeannie from Tahini.
Absolutely. It's Johnny's birthday. It's Johnny's. George Harrison fans? No? Okay. And happy belated birthday to Professor Addy as well. Celebrated earlier in the week. A couple more calls here. We got Jacob. We got Adam Knight. We appreciate you all calling in here today. And great answers as always. I'm always, Joseph, increasingly, and not surprised, but increasingly impressed with our audience's ability to express their love of Star Wars. Really appreciate it.
No, it's fantastic.
All right, Jacob calling in, and everyone's been camera ready today. Jacob, you look great. How are you, my friend?
Hello there. I'm doing pretty good. Ken, I'm just being so distracted looking at you right now.
Normally I'm really good at looking into the lens, but today I've just been like, God damn, look at that. Why did I do that?
I do think you need to do a Ra's al Ghul cosplay with that.
Yes.
And speaking of facial hair, Joseph, when are you going to bring the beard back?
Well, I look forward to the next lockdown. I say
soon enough.
Maybe I'll try to cast myself in a role where I have to bring it back. I'm so terrible at maintaining it, and obviously the lockdown was a terrible time. But it was also nice to be like, let's just all let any sort of maintenance go, and that's fine. No judgment. It's very nice.
It was a good time to try just whatever out.
Yeah. That's great.
Anyway, so to answer about favorite Jedi, I have two. I have a joke answer and a real answer. So to start with my joke answer, everyone's favorite Pong Krell, just the most badass.
You're just great.
True Jedi out there.
Yeah.
But my real answer is, of course, Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight.
Great.
And, he's just such a great example of an unorthodox Jedi who proves in the end to be a true example of what the Jedi stand for. And his last scene and in his final moments is, makes me cry every time.
Yeah, I mean, his lesson about finding the place that you are needed, I think, is kind of a great answer to sometimes people who feel like the Star Wars saga is always about dynasty or the special chosen one. And I think Kanan's story almost seems constructed to be like, no, Jedi can also just be a metaphor for somebody living their life, get kicked out of school in the worst way possible, don't believe in themselves really, but have to step up and then, find where they are needed to make the biggest difference. It's such a great story.
Yeah, for me, Kanan, it's this where he ends up is so powerful and poignant and heartbreaking. And I've talked about it before, but like the day after he dies, right? It's animated show we're watching. The Collider offices were sad. Like we were all bummed. Like you show up to work and everyone's there, big Rebels fans, and we did our Rebels, after show, and everyone's just kind of like, And even though you kind of maybe know where some story or think where the story's going, you have predictions, blah blah blah. It just we all were crestfallen because it was a beautifully executed moment. And Jacob, did you glom onto him from the beginning? Did you grow into the character? Because I was, and Joseph will attest. Like if there's a Jedi with maybe a little hard edge to him, maybe likes to drink, party, date, like Elzar Man, Kanan, I'm usually drawn to Rael Averos. But he grows into so much more. Jacob, were you on from the beginning? What was your journey with Kanan?
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as I started watching Rebels, first few episodes are a little harder to get into, I guess, if you're looking for something more serious. But like even from the beginning, I was like, oh, get rid of this Ezra kid, but let's get back to this Kanan guy,
Right. Fair. Yeah. No, I get it.
And he's such a great example of attachment as a strength rather than a weakness, a positive example of Jedi attachment and how he ends up being there for his family. And talking about his death scene, I think part of what, even though you kind of see it coming, from the very beginning, the fact at the end when his eyes come back, that they didn't have to go that hard, but they did.
They did. I think that's such a great point too, because so many people since the beginning of Rebels, people watch the first episodes like, so how are Kanan and Ezra going to die? Because they got her, right? Like So for so much of the community to be discussing the character in a sort of cold plot-based way, to know for years that's probably the fate of this character, to have it be so just well executed and so well done emotionally that all that goes out the window is really well done.
Yeah, great
yes,
stuff.
and of course the first scene of the episode after that, when Chopper, sticks out his little hand and holds Hera's hand, and that always gets me too.
Yeah.
Look, Jacob, you're going to make me and April Fresh cry, all right? She says, first time I watched Rebels, I had to stop after Ken and Dad. It hurt too bad. Can't watch without crying either. Yeah.
I'm almost
you're going to tug on the heartstrings. Yeah. No, it's, I hate to, it's a weird thing to say, but it's like, it's absolutely one of my favorite deaths in Star Wars.
It's definitely a powerful moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the answer. Great stuff, Jacob. Appreciate you calling in, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, almost done here. Any questions? Anything? We'll catch up with super chats here now too, as well. And for early on in the show here, I think our buddy Chris Carbon Swap. I like the unique Jedi we meet in the prequels: Kit Fisto, Shakti, Plo Koon, to name a few. But a special shout out to Kelnaka, seeing a Wookiee use a lightsaber like a broadsword brought me joy. Absolutely, absolutely. Do love Kelnaka.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of super chats we should acknowledge here, Ken. We got Professor of Smart Things. Thank you, ForceCenter, for bringing in light in the darkness now and always. Thank you all for bringing so much light today in this discussion. And Matthew Stokes, this is the best 10 pounds ever spent, in my opinion. Okay, let's be real. The answer is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Love that. Yeah, you're Alan Smithy. Your mustache is beautiful, Ken. Very regal. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? We'll see. Ethan says, I wish I could call in today and nerd out about Porter Engel. He's just so damn cool. May the force be with you all. Yeah, I have to catch up. I read the comic, started to get through the comic. Was because Porter Engel would probably have this mustache at one point. Yeah, there's just something I just was drawn to immediately on a level I don't fully understand, but just the 9 egg stew of it all, and his heart and his history and where he is. Porter Engel's a great answer, and love the High Republic era.
Yeah, I loved him in Light of the Jedi, I think, because he had that. If Yoda's fun-loving grandpa, he's hard-edged grandpa who's like, I know what violence is, and I'd rather be making stew. Yeah. But if necessary, I can do the violence again. And just the mystery of what does Blade of Bardata mean? And just like, it is so powerful when you meet like he's a great take on this sort of gentle giant of like, so you could crush us all with a thought, right? But what you want to do is make stew. All right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Indeed. And this super chat is so funny. I was going to, when several of us said today, there's no perfect Jedi, I was going to jokingly answer, well, Yarl Poof. And that's what Mr. LD Speed says. Super chat, thank you for that. Thoughts on Yarl Poof? Those big, beautiful eyes. He's the pinnacle of my action figure collection. And I'm glad to see his return in the books. And, taking me back to where it was like, you first see him pop up, and it was you couldn't take your eyes off him, Joseph. Whether you fully understood or liked him or not, didn't matter. You're just like, that's in Star Wars. That guy.
He was the language of Phantom Menace. We did an improv set in, I think, the year 2000. My friend sat in the back of the room and just had his hand up and did a little floaty, and everybody knew we were in the Jedi Council. That's how powerful the visual of Yarl Poof was in the year 2000.
Everyone knew.
Everybody knew. I don't think everybody knew Yarl Poof. I did. I think I said to the guy afterwards, nice Yarl Poof impression. He's like, what did you call me? Like, that's the character's name. Yarl Poof.
Excuse me, what'd you say? Maddie says on that Obi-Wan comment from Matthew Stokes that it's better than $10 spent at Upper Crust. That's hold on there. Don't get crazy.
Now, if Upper Crust had an Obi-Wan themed sandwich, that would be perfection.
Yeah, absolutely. More comments coming in. We'll take a call here from Adam. Chris saying, hey, I'm late as hell, but Seer Junda is a newish favorite for me. She went through it hard, fell briefly, made some mistakes, and a great mentor and leader. And I always want to be clear, like sometimes I always say, the Jedi Fallen Order Survivor game is not my favorite. It's more about the gameplay. It's more about just my style, and there's a little bit of that philosophical stuff you and I have talked about with the animal stuff, Joseph, but the characters in those video games, Cal Kestis, Marin, Seer Junda, absolutely great characters. So
yeah, phenomenal storytelling. And great. I'm forgetting the actor's name, but great performance. And I think she did really sort of.
Oh, Deborah Wilson. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, really
Deborah
depicted like this is a person who has every reason to not be making good decisions. But yeah, she played the trauma incredibly well.
Indeed. All right, let's go to our friends up in the Great White North. Our friends, our allies, never to be our 51st state. It is Adam Knight driving. You better, Adam, you better follow all the rules. I don't know the rules up in Canada. Be safe.
Well, they're pretty much the same, except I have to dodge a lot more penguins and igloos up here. It's a challenging time right now with all the snow and all of the traffic. But don't worry, Sam Houston, I'm going to be fine.
There you go. Well,
it's my one shot. It's my one shot.
Give me your answer. Who's your favorite Jedi?
As much as I wanted to, dig into the Acolyte or go deep into the Legends books to find out a name, for the type of day I've had where I've legit been behind the steering wheel for far too many hours, running around, putting out minor family and otherwise crises all day, it all comes down to Qui-Gon Jinn, because today is the type of day where I really want to be behind a laser gate, dropping to my knees and taking a deep breath and going, I can handle this. It's crazy. It is a wild day. But I believe in the power of the Force. The Force is with me, and I am one with the Force, and I, too, can get through all of this crap.
Love it. Your steering wheel loves it, too.
Steering wheel. I know. It's the best part of my face is when I get the steering wheel in the way. It's all good. And if there's any member of the Winnipeg Police Service viewing the stream, go fuck yourself. It's all good. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. It's your live stream, not mine. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, we've had some great visuals. Addie had a great angle on her camera setup. Your face appearing and reappearing through the steering wheel hole as the lights change on your face, like Luke's X-wing taking off from Dagobah. It's beautiful.
So you're getting the best view of my jowls too. It's great. But no, for real. From 1999 forward, as soon as I saw Liam Neeson with that glorious long Rob Roy hair but carrying a lightsaber, I was just, this is a Jedi. This is what I've always pictured a Jedi Knight to be. A Jedi Master in that case. But, you definitely get this is the portrayal of what the prototypical Jedi should be for the generations before and after. And so, Mr. Jin, I doff my cap to you when I'm done driving.
There you go. Great answer. I think it's we got two sides of the Qui-Gon coin. Brennan called in earlier to talk about the focus reality, and then you got Adam calling in about like, man, things are overwhelming, but I'm going to get through it. And I think it's all kind of in the same bucket.
That's right.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. I know you've seen this mustache too many times in wrestling locker rooms, so I apologize for giving.
No, man, no. All joking aside, it's a good look for you. So maybe consider it going forward. You never know. I can't rock the stash myself. I look a little bit too much like a skullet-wearing fellow when I do that. But we're gonna leave it be. Anyways, I'm about to run to the vet and get my own lightsaber to the gut. So if you don't mind, fellas,
there you go.
With you.
Thank you, Adam. There you go. There you go. Check out Adam's channel, Outlaw Radio. He has got some great insights on this world through the eyes of a pro wrestler. There you go. I think we've reached the end, Joseph. Any Jedi we've left on? I mean, there's a ton of Jedi we have left on the table.
We didn't talk about Terra Sinube, but that's okay. We will again in the future.
we will again.
Yes.
We'll go. All right. Thank you all so much. We'll be in normal programming next week, I think. And I know, there's some big potential Star Wars news that's been floating out there, unconfirmed, and the sources might be dubious, but when there's smoke, there's sometimes fire. So if that news actually happens and it's verifiable and reported, we will dive on into it. And I'm not just talking about Tom Cruise shooting a lightsaber fight behind the camera for Starfighter. I'm talking about the other stuff there as well. So that is it for me. Don't forget you can follow us at ForceCenter, patreon.com/ForceCenter, so you can support us directly. Merch at Fourth Wall, links down below. Like, subscribe, all those things. And for me, KenNapzok.com. If you're local, got a last-minute stand-up show tonight at Blast from the Past in Burbank, 10th anniversary for Minton Card Comedy. But Joseph, that's me. What about you?
Yeah, you can follow me at Joseph Scrimshaw on social media and check out my website, josephscrimshaw.com, for updates on other things. Working on a website for our horror film Dead Media right now. So that's the personal promos. And then, without getting into it too deep, I do just want to take the opportunity to say things are really, really rough in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. I think that we are in a battle for truth, and the current powers want to tell you what the truth is and just have you believe it. And I think it is an important time for those of us, even if we feel like we can't do much. I think just saying, here's what my eyes see and here's what is true is important. I think there's lots of organizations that you can vet and donate to that are floating around on social media. There are going to be a lot of peaceful protests this coming weekend. Friday, January 9th, as we're recording this coming weekend, there'll be a lot of peaceful protests. I think the powers that currently be want us to feel small and want us to feel like we can't have our voices heard, and that the little drop in the water that we can contribute isn't enough. And please don't feel that way. People in Minneapolis, people in Minnesota need your help. So please keep speaking up, and thank you.
Indeed. No, well said as always. And for Minneapolis and Portland and LA and any other city that this is going to travel to, because it already has been, but will continue. Let's stick together as a community. We appreciate you all. We truly do. Thanks for hanging out with us here today and sharing your favorite Jedi. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.